Welcome to the channel where all you gotta do is prep this V10 block for sleeving. So after the first block that came with my Copart car was found to be damaged, I bought a spare block. So got it kind of cleaned up. See, there's still a little bit of oil dribbling out of it here and there, but yeah, this cylinder number 10 was foobar, which I sent a picture of it to LA Sleeve, which is the place I'm going to have sleeve it, and they looked at the picture and said, yeah, I think that'll clean up. But the pieces of rod and piston went and hit this area over here and kind of smashed up the piston squirter, so I didn't really want to spend $4,000 putting sleeves in a block and then finding out later that this area here is compromised and it's going to leak, you know, oil or water or whatever. So anyway, I found a block on eBay for, I think it was about $1,000. Zipped down to LA, picked it up like 6 months ago. It's been sitting in the shed for that long, and I was a little bit concerned because there was a little step right here between the girdle and the block, but some of the bolts were tight and some of them weren't. It had bearings in it, so I wanted to pop it apart, clean it all, put it back together with, you know, to make sure that it didn't need to be line bored. So I did that. I got it fairly cleaned up. I put, this is essentially the dowel pin, this bolt and this bolt that you're supposed to put in these two first, or tighten these two first, and then, but anyway, it's nice now. You can't feel anything there between it, even though the bolts aren't tight. So I think this block is going to be fine. However, when I was cleaning it, I noticed, I'm not sure if this thing's going to focus properly, but if you can see right there, get my hand out of there so it doesn't focus on my wrist. It looks like somebody hit that with a saw. So this is part of the block and this is part of the bed plate. And then kind of the same thing on the other side. So it looks to me like either this was a wrecked car and the wrecking yard decided to make a quick buck, saw the cats off of it. This doesn't seem right, because the headers are worth more than just the material for the catalytic converters. So what I'm thinking is this block might have come from a car that somebody just like sawed the cats off, stole them, and then the car was totaled, right? Because if somebody sawed the cats off and did that to the block, they got to replace the engine, right? This part's no good, this part's no good. I mean, it is good. It's not going to hurt anything. But like the insurance company would have to fix that, right? That's part of the damage from somebody stealing the cats. So, and I'm fairly sure that this fin here and here and here is not there necessarily for structure. It's basically a freeway for the fluid to go into this thick part, right? So when you're casting stuff, a lot of these ribs and fins and stuff like that, like this one here, this is a big thick section. So in order to make sure that fills 100% of the time, you got to put like a bunch of ribs to it that act like little freeways to get the metal in. In other words, you get a misrun and shrinkage and stuff like that. So I have a feeling that's what these are for, mostly. So what I'm going to do is just take a die grinder and kind of make this a nice smooth transition around here so there's no stress concentration. And then we should be fine. But anytime you're buying used parts, you know, this was all kind of covered in grease and stuff, so it's pretty hard to really inspect it that closely. But once you get it kind of cleaned up, you can you can look at it and make sure it's, make sure it's good. I should have checked it a little bit closer when I picked it up. I looked at the bores and, it looked like it would clean up, and if it needed a line honing, that wasn't going to be that big of a deal. But anyway, word from the wise, maybe not so wise, since I didn't notice this till 6 months later. Yeah, somebody did some bad stuff. Anyway, this thing's gonna get a sleeve job, so I can get rid of that crappy oil that S85s use. And when you sleeve it, you need to put different pistons in without the iron phosphate coating on them. And then it's going to get billet crank and forged rods as well. But I'm going to remain with the 5-liter displacement. I don't want to increase the stroke. It's going to be turboed anyway, so increasing stroke doesn't help anything. It just kind of hurts. So this thing's going to have to get delivered down to LA to get it sleeved, and then we'll order a bunch of parts and get this thing assembled. Cylinder heads need some work as well. I've been playing on the flow bench. I haven't made any videos of it yet, but I was gonna, I need to get to that. This is my spare block. It's gonna be a coffee table probably. And the other thing that I kind of wanted to show is, so when you're building the motor, the only good place to put it on a motor mount is really here and here. You could put it on the bed plate, but then when you flip it upside down and take the bed plate off, there's nothing holding it. So I made these little brackets. I don't know, probably spent 10 minutes. Just found a piece of angle iron laying in the wine cellar and drilled a couple holes in it. I also had to modify this because it wasn't wide enough. That would depend on the cheesy engine stand that you have. So now I can pull the bed plate off and it's not attached to that. So nice and sturdy. So that'll make it easier. I'm not sure if BMW makes a special fancy tool for $300 to mount this up to your engine stand, but I also spaced it out a little bit so you can kind of get into rear main seal area without it being all scrunched in there. So anyway, that's about all for this thing. We're in the parts procurement stage of the scenario, and since it's going in this, not really quite ready to drive yet anyway, but parallel path it instead of getting the car all done and painted and then start ordering motor stuff. That'll make for a really long project. So it's already long enough because it's only me working on it and only, small portion of my time, but it's getting there. We'll get her. Okay, so just got back from Los Angeles where I picked up this block for an LA sleeve. And I don't know how you can see this, but they did what appears to be lovely work. Have to get it up closer and personaler, but this is a standard bore. I'm going with a stock stroke billet crank and 92mm bore. CP pistons and Carilla rods. It's going to be a mild boosted application. But sleeves are the problem with these blocks, and it was kind of expensive, but the sleeves themselves are $175 each. There's 10 of them, so that's $2,000 with tax and whatnot. And then obviously the machine work, so they gotta match the size of the outside of the sleeve to the bore, so they got to measure all the sleeves independently within a few tenths, and then bore each hole out. Push the sleeve in, and then since that's going to move the next hole over, you have to do it one at a time, right? So you have to bore this one out, push the sleeve in, then bore this one out, push this sleeve in, then bore this one out, push this, repeat all the way. And then you got to deck it, which literally you cannot feel this. And then you got to hone it. So that's a lot of specialized equipment that I don't have. But this looks really nice. And you see there's numbers in here. I wrote down how deep this counterbore was and this counterbore was. I think I wrote it down as well. But that is so I know how much they took off of here. And they didn't take much because you can still read the laser etching on there or whatever it is. I'm not sure what that is, but it shouldn't hurt anything. So anyway, I'm gonna get this thing. I mean, it's not super clean, right? But I'm going to put it around this because, you know, I live in the wilderness. Put it in a plastic bag, and then we'll get it out of the trunk of my wife's car so she can do wifey stuff with it.